Hey, yo, what's decent? Yo, I got a crazy battle against my boy Shino, so let's get it going. This is my first UU match as far as ORAS goes, so I don't know what the hell to expect. He's gonna lead out with NT, I'm gonna lead out with Hip Powder, and I'm thinking like, yo, even if you're a choice bandit, I could take anything you want to dish out to me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set up my rocks. He stays in, goes to the Sacred Fire, and even if he gets the burn, that's alright, because I do happen to have Bulldoze and Rock Tomb, so this is not the kind of Hip Powder that like dishes out a lot of damage. It's more so just to slow down the opposition. So he's gonna go for a secondary Sacred Fire as I went for the slack off, but unfortunately for me, he scores a crit and that throws me for a complete loop, because I'm thinking like, yo, this whole battle I was gonna use Hip Powder on just for the switch pivot in case the Entei decide to come in on the later turns. But I can't do that anymore because he scored the crit. So now on the switch into High Dragon, I'm going to go for the Future Sight and then switch right out into my boy Muk. A Muk is Assault Vested, so anything it does onto Muk is like obsolete completely. I mean, you could just, damage is damage ultimately, but it's not doing anything to Muk. I mean, look at me, I'm a big pile of crap. I'm taking all them hits, man. So he switched into Bijou, and I know Bijou has access to Drill Run, so I'm just going to switch out. It's a little bit of a risk because it could actually decide to predict that and go for the knockoff, but unfortunately for him, he goes for the Drill Run, and that is not only the only thing that's happening here because the Sandstone subsides, but unfortunately for him, he scores the nice little, the hit right to the belly with the Future Sight. Bijou came in and did absolutely nothing, son. So I'm feeling a little confident here. I'm just gonna go and stay with my Choice Scarf Braivary, but unfortunately for me, he is Choice Scarf himself. He goes to the Draco Meteor, it doesn't kill because he's not modest, I presume. He's timid. So now go for the U-turn, does a lot, and then you know what? He's -2. I'm gonna go into my boy Empoleon, just kind of simulate the fact that I'm gonna try to run a setup, because I did talk about substitute Empoleon a little bit later, trying to hit him that I am running the Empoleon so you can make moves against it, but he figured that I was gonna do a double switch, hence I end up doing so. And then he goes for a secondary Draco Meteor. Like I said, damage is damage, and that is going to accumulate a little later on. It's going to be a huge factor, as you guys will be able to tell. So now I make a double switch myself and go right back out into Empoleon. He does have Shaman in the back wing, so I'm thinking like, you know what, let me just set up a substitute and go for the Ice Beam on the incoming Shaman. Thankfully, Shaman is not like Celebi where you could just go for the Recover and or Giga Drain and replenish some HP. It could just go for the Sea Flare, and whatever damage is inflicted onto it is already there to stay, provided that he doesn't have like Wish or, you know, Healing Wish or something like that to replenish another party member's HP. So now he goes and stays in for a secondary turn and goes for the Earthquake, trying to finish off my Empoleon, as I do decide to go for the Hydro Pump. And he breathes in the Entei, goes for the Sacred Fire, and I was like, no, that's not gonna kill, and it kills! Oh my god! This Entei is bananas! I wish I had my pivot switch. So that's not the case right now, and I'm just gonna go for the strength on my Braivary. I do happen to have strength because its happiness value is obsolete. I can't get double edge on this thing anymore, and I'm like, you know what, the next best thing to have is strength, believe it or not. So I know Entei is gonna come back into play and go for the extreme speed, so I'm like, yo, I have absolutely nothing. I swear I wish I had quick attack, man. So I go for Delphox, and look how much Delphox takes. That is bananas, man. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to teach Delphox how to use magical hats, man, and feign out another little clone or something like that, because it's like, it's crazy. I don't understand how. I mean, I do understand it's like his choice, but it has a lot of attacks, so I'm thinking like, you know, it does a lot of damage, but wow, it 2-hit KOs Delphox and Mega Sceptile. I go for Giga Drain, assuming that he was gonna want to save his Entei for a little bit later on, because he has another switch in, and he can go for the Flare Blitz on that switch in, provided I have something else out in play, and then get like a double down. And or maybe another extreme speed, and then that's the case. But I thought that, especially since he also has floor gets, that he was definitely gonna go out into that, because that forces me to switch, and then he could just go out into his Entei, trying to bring out the Muk. So I thought that's what he was going to do initially. So now his Entei finally dies to a Shadow Sneak. I reveal Shadow Sneak, which is important. That's very important, because I knew that the Entei's extreme speed would outspeed anyway, so I could go for any move, but I wanted to reveal Shadow Sneak just for this particular turn. Now he knows that I have Shadow Sneak, and my win condition right here is to go for the Shadow Sneak as well as going for the Brave Bird with my Braivary. So taking that into account, I thought that he was gonna go for the wish before going for the moonblast, before finishing you off the mutt, because now in this case scenario I could just go for the brave bird, and you can see right now that brave bird puts Florges at an amount of HP where Shadow Sneak would be able to finish it off, but that's not exactly the case as you take it on the 50-50 shot. So that was a great game. I definitely did have a lot of fun. Viewers, if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Link down to my opponent's channel will be in the description, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And like I said, if you guys like this video, please drop a like. If you guys want to see more content like this in the future, please subscribe to me. It's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Peace. What you doing?